Good morning, everyone. It's a cold morning here, and it looks like everybody's sleeping in over there. Wednesday, day before Thanksgiving. Yes, on Wednesday. Wednesday is the real working day for Thanksgiving, I'm telling you. And one should have a list. I've done Thanksgiving so many times in my life now that I don't need a list. It's all there. All what needs to be done. And my son-in-law asked my daughter last night, so what do we need to do all tomorrow? And she said, oh, honey, cleaning, 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 and cleaning. And prepping and prepping and prepping. Anywho, yes. Uh, it's interesting with all of our Thanksgivings. Now my daughter is doing it at her house. The one daughter, my oldest daughter, is doing the Christmas fondue on the Christmas Eve. I handed that over, and Thanksgiving I handed over to my daughter here a number of years ago. And I love it. And it seems to both of my daughters have taken it on just like I did. You never know who's going to come and knock on your door or who's going to show up. There's no list of, oh, these people are coming or whatever. It's just, oh, yeah, well, they're coming, they're coming, they're coming. Oh, they're coming too? Oh, okay. Well, let's make sure. Do they have somewhere to go? So just as Thanksgiving approaches, right? It's okay. How many? Okay, we thought it was going to be how many. Now it's going to be how many? I love it. And then even then, there's more. Yes. I love on how and Christmas Eve is the same way. And I love on how the doors of the homes of my children are open to people. Yes. Yeah. All right. So there is that. I saw a really good one this morning. Strong willed children. When you have a strong willed child. Uh, and it was interesting. I listened to, obviously, it sounded like a teacher who'd had a lot to do with children and just has this amazing heart to mind for children. And and on how what was given to them by God is not, it's not, that's never bad. It can't be ever bad. And yeah, so again, why our children that, for example, are strong-willed, right, seem to be troublemakers as well, or yeah, oh, they're difficult to handle. Really? Again, why? I think parents should ask themselves, with the personalities that their children have, on why they have these personalities and how to steer them in a really good direction and what they need, actually, right? Yes? In any case, I listened to them going, well, I always knew that, and I was a very strong willed child, but I wasn't, yeah, I was in trouble a lot, but not because I wanted to be or on purpose got into trouble. That wasn't me. I always felt like I was a sweet, gentle, kind child who just got into trouble a lot over really odd things. And I could often not understand the reaction of the adults when it came to it all. Uh, she said one thing that I'd say, yep, that's absolutely 100% true. When a strong willed child is kind of neglected, or that strong will that also, she said one other thing, she said, most likely they're smarter than you. And yeah, one doesn't like to say that because it sounds arrogant, but growing up as a child, from a very early age on, I was not blind to the hypocrisy and double talk of adults. And I wondered about that. Do as I say, not as I do, kind of thing. I was very aware of that. And that didn't mean now that I didn't like the adults around me. It's just something that I observed as a child. You gotta remember, your children. What do you know? What kind of life experience do you have? You're just watching others, right? But you set something where they may not say anything and they may not do anything, strong-willed children, but they just wait. They wait until they're old enough to be able to get away from the yoke of what exactly? The parents, their circumstances, but they do. They do, yes. One example, she said, is that strong-willed children often, to get angry at them and to criticize them and to reprimand them constantly doesn't work. But talking to them does. Rather than yelling at them and being angry, talking to them does. And she brought up an example where, at a certain age that a person was that she's done that with, on how they retained what you told them. In any case, the one thing when I listened to her, I realized too, just seeing it around me, is the parents have to learn to put their cell phones down. They just need to. Dear me, don't take them to the dinner table. That's just, God Almighty, just put that doggone thing away while you're at home with your family. Yes? Anyway, it's just, it's so, the children just can't be hurt. The children of parents who constantly have their phone in their face. Lay it down for 60 seconds. Ding. Oh. Can't be heard. And when they're strong-willed, on top of that, they're going to start making their own choices. Because the parents are making bad choices. What do you think? Are these children going to make good choices? Okay, if they're strong-willed and they're very intelligent, they're not. You know, when I was growing up, I saw how my parents' relationship and marriage worked. And I didn't take that as an example to, oh yeah, now I can do whatever I want, because no matter what my religion is teaching me, it doesn't matter, because I have a good example on how I'm going to get away out of that and do whatever I want. No, for me, it was, I'm going to get married and I will never get divorced. Didn't happen, did it? But there's a restoration process going on. And I can't call my husband an ex-husband. I can't do it. It's weird. It's just, I just call him my husband. And we have such a good okay, all right. That's a whole other story. And, it's our story, right? Yes? And I don't see why everybody needs to know that out there. So if there's a little confusion going on between, okay, what is the relationship between my husband and I, as a couple? No, that's between us. And that's our restoration path. Yes? Yeah. Well, anyway, the main thing for me is that he's the father of my children, all of my children. That is that as well. Yes? Okay. But I was never. I was going to try and make it work every which way, which I did. Yes, it's very strong-willed there. My husband grew up in a family where the mom ran away. The mom was the one that was cheating and ran away, and the children all were basically left with the father. And I could tell when certain things my husband came to a point where, and I'm not speaking against him, I'm just telling you how it was, okay? He came to the point, maybe was always at that point somehow, never ready. He didn't want to be a husband, and he did not want to be a father. He wanted to be done with it. But in a way that he wanted to be done with it was that I ran away. that I'm the one who runs away, leaves the children, so that then he can disperse them among his brothers and sisters who were ready to take them on. Believe me, it's all interesting, isn't it? I could write a book about that. No, I'm not going to do that. That's our course of restoration. It's fine to share little bits and pieces. I think is fine as well. But that was one thing. I would never do that. I would have never done that. And my mom didn't do that. My mom was very, very strong-willed when it came to raising her own children, to stick it out with her own children. Okay? And she did a fabulous job. There were some things that are just different, but when it really came down to it, done. Okay? I had a great upbringing. I had a great first part of my life. I had great guidance to become a wonderful adult. Okay, just saying. And but I was a very, very strong-willed child. I was not. My nose was always in a book. I didn't say a whole lot when I was young. I didn't, but I absorbed everything. Yes. And so I didn't run away. It was odd on how my husband was reacting to that. But anyway, so I'm not going to get into that. Strong-willed children need a lot of guidance. Strong-willed children need to be around parents who are honest to a fault. And then it's amazing on how these children turn out. Yes, just saying. So there it is. Isn't everybody strong-willed? I'd say that anybody who would hear that video to go, yeah, that was me. Everyone would, yeah, that was me. Yes, me too. Right? Well, then, if there are so many of us out there strong-willed, then we should have compassion then for children that we come across. I know very strong-willed children, at least one of them, where he was 7 years old and mom was just too busy doing other things, this and that. Put him in a psychiatric hospital. Admitted him a couple of times. Because of, something that he did, 7 years old. And mom just didn't take the time to find out what is going on with my child. I met that boy. I talked to that boy. A wonderful boy. When you become a parent, you gotta commit 100%. You just do. No matter what happens, you commit. And it's not just about committing, taking responsibility. Do it with every fiber of your heart and love that you have within you. That's strong-willed too, isn't it? Yes. Okay, all right. Let's get going. That's just a lot I mentioned. I could talk about that really when it comes down to it. We are in Psalm 21, 22, and 23. To finish that up, if you guys wonder, it came to the point where I had to let my husband go myself. Yes, I wanted him to be free. I wanted him to want to be with his family, not have to. So, yes, yeah. Restoration is it's not just about, I believe that restoration among couples, for example, the family, the parents and the children, isn't just about you stick it out. That's not just it. One has to also be the wiser one to know when you have to let go, that then, down the road, restoration can truly happen. Not forced, not coerced, not strong-willed just from one side. Yes? Yeah. So, All I can tell you is that when we talk on the phone, my husband always tells me, I love you. Then I can say back, I love you too. Okay, all right, all right. It works. I went the course of True Parents, the blessing, and the restoration path, and it's working. It works. There are so many things in my life when it comes to myself, my family, my ancestry, this and that, where has worked and is working. It's still working. It's still going on. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Yes. And no one's going to get me past off that path. So done. Psalm 21. We're in the book of Psalm 21, 22, and 23. Ooh, 23 is really, really short. All right. For a coronation ceremony, for the choir master, Psalm of David. Oh, I was thinking about that as well with these psalms. And here's again, pause, and I'm thinking, okay, what is that? Are they now, as they say, prayers or songs? Are they hymns or whatever? But I think some of them are like, you have to remember at that time, they didn't have TV and all this other stuff. And so the temple was kind of like a theater as well, right? So it sounds to me like they were putting on, a little show of singing and maybe acting, kind of acting out the hymn or the song or the prayer, right? Yes, like a choir does or whatever. So I thought about that too. So I'm sure that was a part of it. Kind of neat. Yahweh, the King rejoices in your power. How your saving help fills him with joy. You have granted him his heart's desire, not denied him the prayer of his lips. Then it says pause for effect. Or maybe to turn the tables around. Okay. For you come to meet him with blessings of prosperity. Put a crown of pure gold on his head. He has asked for life, you have given it him. Length of days forever and ever. Great his glory through your saving help. You invest him with splendor and majesty. You confer on him everlasting blessings. You gladden him with the joy of your presence, for the king puts his trust in Yahweh. The faithful love of the Most High will keep him from falling. Yeah, prayer shouldn't just be wishful thinking. Your hand will reach all your enemies, your right hand all who hate you. You will hurl them into a blazing furnace on the day when you appear. No, I'm not going to do that. Also, Yahweh will engulf them in his anger, and fire will devour them. You will purge the earth of their descendants, the human race of their posterity. They have devised evil against you, but plot as they may, they will not succeed, since you will make them turn tail by shooting your arrows in their faces. All right, you know what? They have devised evil against you. Really? It's not possible to... I mean, do people think at this time, okay, I get it. I know what this is all about. But when you read this today, does anyone actually believe that God is that petty? Oh, he's got some strong-willed children, and they're not going to take it from others who just say, hey, you have to believe. This isn't going to... Well, why? Because you say so? I'm just saying. Right? Well, anyway. In so many ways, right? And people aren't happy with other people, then suddenly now God has to become what? A bad guy? That sounds like a bad guy to me, not a good guy. Right? Yes? Use your power to do what? Yeah. God's not like that. Yes, but they wanted him to be that way at that time. Why? What's the benefit hmm, of others fearing God like that? Huh? And others hoping that they can put the fear of God in others. Just asking. I don't know what the purpose of this is. Rise, Yahweh, in your power. We will sing and make music in honor of your strength. All right. Psalm 22. There's more that comes to my mind, but I better not say it. Maybe another time. Yeah. The sufferings and hopes of the upright. For the choir master. To the doe of the dawn. Psalm of David. My God, why have you forsaken me? The words of my groaning do nothing to save me. Oh, well, that's a turn of events. My God, I call by day, but you do not answer, at night, but I find no respite. Yet you, the Holy One, who make your home in the praises of Israel, in you our ancestors put their trust. They trusted, and you set them free. To you they called for help and were delivered. In you they trusted and were not put to shame. But I am a worm, less than human, scorn of mankind, contempt of the people. All who see me jeer at me. They sneer and wag their heads. He trusted himself to Yahweh. Let Yahweh set him free. Let him deliver him, as he took such delight in him. It was you who drew me from the womb and soothed me on my mother's breast. On you was I cast from my birth. From the womb I have belonged to you. Do not hold aloof, for trouble is upon me, and no one to help me. Many bulls are encircling me, wild bulls of Bashan closing in on me, lions ravening and roaring upon their jaws at me. Is this just another version of that other one that we already had, where David is in the cave or something? Okay, you know what? Whatever. My strength is trickling away, my bones are all disjointed. That sounds very, very similar, just different words now. So which one is it that he actually said? No, who knows? My heart has turned to wax, melting inside me. My mouth is dry as earthenware. My tongue sticks to my jaw. You lay me down in the dust of death. A pack of dogs surrounds me, a gang of villains closing in on me, as if to hack off my hands and my feet. I can count every one of my bones, while they look on and gloat. They divide my garments among them and cast lots for my clothing. Oh. Yahweh, do not hold aloof. My strength, come quickly to my help. Rescue my soul from the sword. Did that just sound familiar up there? Yeah. Rescue my soul from the sword, the one life I have from the grasp of the dog. Well, it starts with, my God, why have you forsaken me? Huh. Interesting. Oh, that's another one too. She said, strong-willed children, when you talk to them, they'll never forget anything. Beware how you use your words. It's true. Rescue my soul from the sword, the one life I have from the grasp of the dog. Save me from the lion's mouth, my poor life from the wild bull's horns. I shall proclaim your name to my brothers, praise you in full assembly. You who fear Yahweh, praise him. All the race of Jacob honor him, revere him, all the race of Israel. For he has not despised nor disregarded the poverty of the poor, has not turned away his face, but has listened to the cry for help. Of you is my praise in the thronged assembly. I will perform my vows before all who fear him. The poor will eat and be filled. Those who seek Yahweh will praise him. May your heart live forever. The whole wide world will remember and return to Yahweh. All the families of nations bow down before him. Ooh, wow, this is good. The whole wide world will remember and return to Yahweh. All the families, nations bow down before him. For the Yahweh, ruler of the nations, belongs kingly power. All who prosper on earth will bow before him. All who go down to the dust will do reverence before him. And those who are dead, their descendants, will serve him, will proclaim his name to generations still to come, and these will tell of his saving justice to a people yet unborn. He has fulfilled it. Wow, there's a lot of stuff in that one that sounds very familiar, right? So we have some of the New Testament in here, according to some words that Jesus has said, or that happened at the time that he was specifically killed. And then I'm hearing some of Job's lamenting out of here as well. Yes? Yeah? Yeah? Yes? No? Okay, just say. Hmm. I heard Father, True Father, talk about man and woman and on why we refer to God as Father, the masculine side of the dual characteristics of God. And I don't have a problem with that. I'm getting it. It doesn't matter. In the end, that's not that type of knowledge is important for what exactly? I'm just saying. And it was beautiful listening to Father talking about that in his. It was, I loved it. I loved the whole little video. It was beautiful. And I went in and I said, I hope that everyone listens to the whole video, including the person who posted this, because it wasn't posted. Uh, because they thought that the video was so beautiful and so well explained and this and that. It had to do with, again, to abuse using Father's teachings for their own agenda. And as I hope everyone, including the person who posted this, watches the whole video. It is absolutely beautiful. Praying for all my brothers and sisters and brothers. And the person came back. Don't even know if it's a man or a woman because it's undisclosed. It's like a little bit of a troll just doing its thing. But, there is a person behind it, no doubt. A scared, fearful person to disclose their identity for what I'm not sure. Maybe there's a good reason. Yes. And the person came back and says, "Oh, did you listen to the whole video? Just asking." And I said, "Yeah, twice." And I find the one thing I find with things like this is if one wants to really stay true to fairness and justice, then one needs to listen with the heart, with a heart of love. If we can do this every time and listen to anything and everyone with a heart of love, regardless, then the anger of our mind to want to understand or to have a certain understanding of something will not happen. And that's what I see often in people. Your anger, your resentment, even just trying to get knowledge, if you're only trying to do it with your mind, you're probably not going to get the whole picture or the true picture. But if your heart to mind is 100% involved in only trying to find the goodness, yes, and what? Reject the inconsistencies, isn't it? Then you're on the right track with receiving, for example, True Father's teachings properly. Yes? Okay. True Mothers too. Anywho, so for the reputation of God, if you read this and you read it with absolute love in your heart, is there God in that? Is it? Is there God? Is God like that? Should we depend on God in that way? Oh, just saying. Just asking. Psalm 23, the famous psalm. The famous psalm. Don't worry, I'll just read it. Psalm 23, the Good Shepherd. Psalm of David. Yahweh is my shepherd, I lack nothing. In grassy meadows he lets me lie. By tranquil streams he leads me to restore my spirit. He guides me in paths of saving justice as befits his name. Even were I to walk in a ravine as dark as death, I should fear no danger, for you are at my side. Your staff and your crook are there to soothe me. You prepare a table for me under the eyes of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup brims over. Kindness and faithful love pursue me every day of my life. I make my home in the house of Yahweh for all time to come. It is beautiful. I've talked to someone one time about this, and I said, what do you think it means? You prepare a table for me under the eyes of my enemies. To me, it also means that do not forget, if your enemies are watching and your table is prepared in such a way, to invite them to the feast. Okay. Well, anyway, it's a good one for Thanksgiving. So why is Psalm 23 so famous? I guarantee you. Oh, first of all, it's short. And so little known about most of the other ones. Because people already know, in a way, again, their heart to mind, that that's not God. In most of these Psalms, God's not to be found. Just the lamenting of the people, unwilling to take responsibility, unwilling to truly use their heart to mind. Oh, okay. So, at that time, there weren't any strong-willed people, smart people. Well, look, people, where we are at today. They all had something to do with that. Okay, one way or the other. That's it. That's all I have to share this morning. I've got to get going. We have work to do today. We went shopping yesterday early in the morning. It was wonderful. We had the baby with us. She was just it all the whole time, no problem. And I noticed, and my daughter and I, we took our time. We went really early, so there weren't that many people there yet. We took our time. Oh yeah, so it was early. Who'd be nuts enough to go with their children early in the morning to go to the store shopping? I would. But all the other times that we went, very few children are ever in the store now, it seems like. Yes, yeah. Because, why is that? Well, in any case, she was just amazing. Of course, we had that bottle ready so we could keep shopping rather than my daughter having the nurse. And she was just happy, and people were amazed over her, and she just looking around. She took it all in. She loves going out there, watching people, which also reminded me of my daughter. My daughter did the same thing too. She was kind of quiet, watching a lot. That's the mom of the little one, and taking things in right there. Like 6 months old, taking things in. People come say, "Oh, hi, this, that." People really amazed on how respectful people are. Nobody tried to touch her or anything, but just talking, and she just smiled at them, and it made their day. Yes. Anywho, that's all I have to share now. Done. May Heavenly Parent bless and protect you and embrace you with love, and I will talk to you all, God willing, tomorrow.